epistle to the Ephesians, chapter 6. And having done all to stand, stand. And having done all to stand, stand. Let us speak in the name of God, Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Amen. In the development of the understanding of the human person, we have come to appreciate that we are not one-sided, that there are different factors as it relates to our existence, and these factors are of the utmost importance. Plato, being a student of Socrates, had an understanding of the human existence, of existence on the whole, speaking about existence as something physical and something spiritual. And he held the view that that which was spiritual was more important than the physical. Some of that we get from Paul's letter to the Ephesians. Some of that we get from different readings specifying the importance of the spiritual man. Aristotle, on the other hand, thought that yes, while human beings may be made of three parts, three components, or while existence may have two components, that the spiritual is just as important as the physical. Throughout life, the church has spent so much time focusing on the spiritual, which is very important, causing people to appreciate who they are in relation to God, to develop that relationship in many different ways, to ensure that we have a life of prayer and a life of devotion, a life of hymnody. Somewhere along the road, the church has lost a bit of its humanity, a bit of its humanness. We've spent more time concerning ourselves about spirituality without paying attention to the intricacies of human tragedy, without paying special attention to the disasters that come our way by virtue of our humanness. And so, in the reading, we are called to protect both aspects of our existence. For in Paul's letter to the Ephesians, he speaks to the church in Ephesus, and he parallels the image of the armor being a physical tool with the image of an armor being a spiritual tool. He says there are a lot of challenges that come our way, and we must always be prepared for those challenges. We must be careful. We must be cautious, because life is not always easy, and things do not always go the way we want them to go. But he is seeking to encourage the church at Ephesus. He is seeking to encourage you and me today. He is seeking to remind us that nothing we could possibly endure can destroy us, as long as we remember that it is God that makes things possible, that it is God that makes things work, that it is God who has started a work in us, who will continue the work in us. I don't know why we have become so comfortable being discouraged when we have such an awesome God on our side. I don't know why we give up so easily when we have the memory of prayer time that calls our attention to a God who is always faithful, who will never leave us nor forsake us. Somehow we get caught up in the philosophical jargon of time, and we lose our way in appreciating the fact that all things spiritual must relate to things physical. So Paul writes the letter to the church in Ephesus, seeking to give them encouragement. One thing that we find ourselves doing is losing focus. So Paul reminds his readers to put on the whole armor of God. Now I can recall a wonderful experience laying down in my childhood house. And my grandmother used to get up very early in the morning because she cooked food for sale. So the whole house would be scented with chicken, bacon in the oven, and peas and rice cooking on the stove top. And you just had to get used to it. I remember lying down because the scent woke me and I went back to sleep. But before I could fall asleep, I found myself in an experience where I was standing on the side of the road. I was not yet asleep, but I was on the side of the road, and the angel of the Lord appeared to me. And standing on some rolling clouds, he looked down, he picked me up by the hand, and lifted me and placed me on the other side of the street. And he said to me, "Denrick, God has chosen you." And I asked him, "Me?" I said, "That's not a good idea." I said, "I'm going to mess up. I'm going to make mistakes. Why would you choose me? I won't make it." And he said to me, "Put on the whole armor of God." So this reading has sentimental value to me. I believe that a part of it has caused me never to want to throw in the towel over anything. To always be looking for the next way to make it, for the next way to survive, for the next way to be successful. We as a people have been broken mentally, so we give up easily. And oftentimes we fight the wrong battles. Oftentimes we fight things that are physical. We hate people, but we do not hate the spirit behind the people. We despise situations, but we do not despise the spirit behind the situation. And sometimes when we understand what spiritual warfare is going on behind the things that are done and said, it will cause us to look past the error of the people and understand that they and we, from time to time, are in need of deliverance. Therefore, loving the sinner and still despising the sin. Therefore, take up the whole armor of God. It's not always physical. It is spiritual. Take up the whole armor of God so that you may be able to withstand on that evil day. And having done everything in your might to stand, having done all you could to stand, stand firm. Stand therefore, and put on the belt of truth around your waist. The older you get, the more honest you got to become. You ain't got to be perfect, but my God, tell the truth about your imperfection. Don't act like you got it all together, because we all got room for improvement. And if you ain't doing nothing wrong now, when you had strength, and when you had youth, you did something wrong then. And so we got something to give thanks to God for the changes that have taken place in our lives. But we can't go around as people who are so spiritual that we are no use to human frailty, the context in which we have always lived. Stand therefore and fasten the belt of truth around your waist. You've got to tell the truth. You've got to speak the truth. Even if you choose not to accept it in the end, you must still be honest about it. Even if you choose not to support it in the end, you must still be honest about it. Put on the breastplate of righteousness. Righteousness and justice are two sides of the same coin. But you've got more people speaking in tongues, and you've got more people under the anointing of the Holy Spirit, but righteousness is far from their hearts because they lack relationship with God. True relationship that builds faith, that causes us to want to be in His narrow presence, that causes us to want to be in His house, to want to worship Him with all our hearts. As shoes for your feet, put on whatever will make you ready to proclaim the gospel of peace. You've got to always be prepared to tell somebody about Jesus. Some of us sometimes be embarrassed to talk about Jesus, you know. Some of us sometimes be embarrassed to even pray in public, to thank God for the food He provided for us, to thank God for the drink He provided for us. Sometimes we're afraid to make the sign of the cross around people. But we must always be prepared to preach the gospel, and not just the gospel of peace. If you ain't on the side of peace, you ain't on the side of God. Because even the harshness of God still makes for peace. With all of these, take the shield of faith. You remember that hymn? Back in the day, my hope is built on nothing less than Jesus' blood and righteousness. You remember that? I dare not trust the sweetest frame, but wholly lean on Jesus' name. On Christ, the solid rock I stand. All other ground is sinking sand. This is the message of the gospel of faith, where we believe in the God who was faithful from the beginning, who is faithful now, and who will be faithful tomorrow, who woke us up even when we didn't deserve to live, who sustains us even when we don't work hard enough for food, who provides us clothes and strength enough to meet each day and its challenges. He says, don't forget the shield of faith, with which you will be able to quench all the flaming arrows of the evil one. And then he says, get your head right. Get your head right. Make sure your focus is right by taking on the helmet of salvation. Most of the times we fall away because we listen to the worst of things, we take on the worst of things, and we fill our hearts and our minds with negativity. We wallow in self-pity, blaming everyone, including God, for our losses and our pains, and taking it out on others in one way or another. Put on the helmet of salvation to protect your mind from evil thinking, to protect your mind from negativity. Think the best of things, even in the worst of circumstances. Get your mind right, because if your mind ain't right, you can't get out of the problem. You can't succeed over the challenge if your mind is right. Put on the helmet of salvation And don't forget the sword. Everything else was offense. If somebody hit you, you're able to sustain the blow. But the sword of the Spirit is defense. And here, you have an opportunity to fight each battle with the Word of God. When somebody tells you, like you told me yesterday, they don't believe in no one who turned water into wine or who was raised from the dead. You could tell them that the Word of God tells you that every soul has an opportunity to come to believe, that those who believe will have eternal life. You could go on to tell them that even if you don't believe in the situation, literally you must agree that death is not the end, that the challenges we face and the losses we have in this life is not the end, that we can still look for something better to come, something more enjoyable, something more sustaining, that sickness is not the end, we can still look for healing, that being broke is not the end, we can still look for money, that being lonely is not the end, we can still look for companionship, that with God we are never alone, we always got an opportunity to bounce back, and that is the message of the resurrection. So who cannot believe in Jesus being raised from the dead simply cannot believe that life can come even after death. But if they have 1 ounce of farming experience, they see that even the grass that was slashed and burned yield forth the greatest, the richest set of soil for the planting of any crop. Therein lies the message. With the sword, when our enemies rise up against us, we can remind them of the Word of God. Be strong in the Lord and in the power of His might. We can remind them of the Psalm, where He prepares a table before us in the presence of our enemies. We can remind ourselves of the word that says, fret not thyself because of evildoers. God got your back, and He's the majority. When we find ourselves in despair, wondering where the next pay coming from, we could remember His word, where He will anoint our head with oil and our cup. Hello, 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 and our cup. Oh, praise His holy name. You know why He anoints your head with oil? So that when you're going through the thorns of life, that the oil will lubricate your head to prevent you from getting stuck. Hello? That's why He anoints your head with oil. The sheep head is anointed with oil for that purpose. And so much oil, which is of great value, that the cup ends up overflowing. Now, scholars say that in the Hebrew there is no word that will satisfy the translation of the English equivalence to overflowing. Hebrew scholars say what the text ought to be translated as is that your cup is full. That may be true. But the translation that worked for Miley Parker, my great-grandmother, and the translation that worked for Joseph Parker, and the translation that worked for Corinne Ida Bell, and the translation that worked for Teresa is the translation that will work for me. My cup is just full. It's running over. Abundance upon abundance. And the Word of God will help us. When we are sick, by His stripes, we are healed. When we doubt ourselves and our own greatness, physician, heal thyself. When we feel like giving up, Ephesians says, having done all you could, don't give up. Keep going forward. Keep fighting. Keep working. Keep praying. Keep finding a different plan. Keep working on something new. Keep looking upward. Keep being positive about tomorrow. Because if God was good enough to keep you till now, He got to be good enough to keep you till later. So having done all this time, Ephesians tells us to start. In His name, Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Amen.